am reflecting on my participation video where I met with my 2 assistant principals to go over our professional development plan. I prepared for the meeting by looking at our current campus improvement plan, focusing on the professional and staff development piece. I looked closely to determine how the professional development was tying into the campus improvement plan and how much money was being spent on the professional development. We met to talk about what was currently happening on campus and what else we could add for our teachers. I feel like the meeting went really well. I was actively participating in the conversations where I was listening to the suggestions of my assistant principals. I felt like after reviewing the plan, there were a few gaps in the areas of professional development, and I shared them with them, and they also concurred and agreed with those gaps. We came up with a plan to put some new ideas in place. A couple of them focusing on technology. I did feel like we were spending a lot of money on Model Classroom Project without making it a requirement for the teachers, and so we discussed a few ways to address this for the next year and see if we can put things more to hold them a little bit more accountable with some of the professional development that we were offering. At the end of the meeting, I felt very excited about a few of the new professional development pieces and opportunities that we will be offering next year, but I also was the one that was volunteering for them, so I don't know if I'll be able to pull all of the things off, but we'll see. I'll manage. Evaluating it, there was a great discussion between us and what we envisioned for staff development. One of the things that we talked about was having a survey asking the teachers what they wanted to see as far as staff development, and if some of the staff were willing to possibly present some of the staff development, see who's willing to share their ideas. We discussed having a reoccurring class where the teachers were creating things that could be put straight back to work in their classroom. That was one of our main discussions, making sure that we're seeing the concepts in action in the classroom that we are presenting or that we are asking them to do. We talked about having some of our expert teachers share what they're doing in their classroom so they can get those ideas out and other teachers can be practicing them too. The more the teachers are having buying in on the topics, the more we'll see in their classrooms and the kids improving and the scores improving. We also addressed having more staff development for our paraprofessionals so that they can be better supporting the teachers and the students in the classroom. One of them we possibly talked about was with our special education paraprofessionals, that the dietitian or the special education teachers actually explain what it should look like in the classroom and sound like, and maybe even having one where just paperwork on how to fill it out, and so they know the expectation of what it looks like and everything else. Overall, the meeting was a success. I would have loved for my principal to be there, but she was called away in an emergency meeting. I also wish it wasn't left for the last day of school, because we could have put a little bit more in place before we left for the summer. But I feel that our momentum may have fizzled a little bit when we came back in August, and we're trying to get everything going. We're kind of discussing what we've already discussed. One thing that I concluded and realized is that the relationships that I had built with my admin team does have a huge impact. I know that because of how closely I've worked with them and how I've proven myself to them to be reliable and dependable, and they allowed for that to value my opinion. I suggested quite a few things to change for next year based upon what I felt like were areas and needs, and this could have easily been perceived as a negative thing, that I was saying things that weren't being done enough or how we could fix things, but it wasn't. They were excited at what I had come up with and the plans to address the areas of weakness. They trusted my analysis of the situation. They also showed their trust in me when they gave me free reign on a few of the topics. I told them that I would find books that I felt would be appropriate for a technology book study or a reading book study, and working with the media specialists on creating technology classes for the staff to come to, and then hopefully those technology projects will be shown in their classroom. They were excited. They're like, hey, sign us up. We're ready to go. That sounds awesome. It does go back to everything I've learned about building relationships, especially if you're wanting to change or you're asking to try something new. In conclusion, I know that time has passed and I should have had probably an agenda and a follow-up email with or a document or something before summer came, so that it was a laid out plan for what the beginning of the year would be instead of kind of going back all over it. I relied on my relationship and my ease with working with both of them to allow me to be a little more laid back with the situation, and I could have been a little bit more structured and planned and formal. I feel like when we got back, we kind of started over a little bit, but that's okay. We have a plan that we're putting in place, and that's what's most important. Again, the meeting was very productive. The timing wasn't the best, but it was rescheduled. At the end of the year things popped up. It became a very busy time, but it shouldn't have affected my preparedness. I should have been ready for it at any point in time. Our next meeting, we'll go over the ideas we've talked about. I'll talk with my principal to make sure that she approves everything that we've already discussed, because she has the final say. I'm going to enlist the help of some of my friends to go over some of the professional development classes to get them up and running and get started. I'll create that online survey for the teachers to fill out what they want to see, what they're interested in. Do they prefer online classes versus in-face classes? Who's willing to present? What are some topics you are really excited about learning, or do you need more help with? So we'll get that survey created out and then analyze it, and then come up with some ideas for some plans, probably by a semester. So we'll make up some classes for the first semester and some classes that can come up in the second semester. I'm going to try to delegate. That's my thing I'm trying to learn right now, is really to delegate a bit more, so I don't take on everything myself. That's my biggest problem, I think, right now. Is like, oh, that sounds good, because I get excited about it, and I'm like, I'll do it. And I just got to make sure I can actually do everything I'm saying I'm doing. Overall, I wouldn't change too much besides the timing and the follow-up, and maybe delegating a little bit more. But overall, really good meeting.